Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a historic, significant honor when you look at the names on the trophy, and just a tradition of that, you know. And I think sometimes it's a coach of the year. I think it should be the staff of the year. Yeah, I would just had such a great staff in Moncton this year. They just one of those really special seasons, obviously, but I was just so fortunate to have so many great staff members, and then nothing happens without the team. You know, and the players that we had were amazing this year, and you know, they were allowed. Sometimes I think you know, the coach is here, the player here, and sometimes you know, as a coach, we want the player to be here, and you know, so you have to trust the players, and in turn, I think the players have to trust the coach. And I think in Moncton, we found that nice happy medium that we had a lot of connection first, and when you get connection, you get trust. And I thought a lot of players had career best seasons, you know. So, but none of that happens. I was really fortunate. I have the best owner in the CHL. He's just an amazing, passionate person. That's 29 years he's been with Moncton, and every day he comes, he just brings so much energy, and it's all about the team, and it's all about providing the environment and the culture for players to be at their absolute best. So, been really fortunate.
You have more youth sports titles than I think many people can count. So, what does it mean to you to walk into Moncton your first season and lead your team to a CHL title and a berth in the Memorial Cup semifinals?
Yeah, I think when you take the job last year, and obviously it was exciting to have my son Taylor as my general manager. That's like a lifetime thrill to be able to work with your son. And then when we put the staff together, I think we gained some momentum. We've got some really, really great people and great hockey people. And then our first practice, I thought, oh, maybe we have something here, because the group just bought in. It may be a little bit different for them, but they've been amazing all year. They've bought in, they've trusted, and they've seen the results of it. And so that's, I think it's, you try to get better every day. I don't know if we would ever envision that we're going to end up where we did, but we try to be maybe the process. We talk about the micro rather than the macro, and we talked about trying to get better every day, everybody getting better every day. And we're fortunate. We had a lot of days, and a lot of days we did get better.
Brian Kilrea is an absolute legend when it comes to coaching, and it's not just the on-ice stuff, it's the off-ice stuff and developing the players into the young men that they become. Your name now is etched on that trophy. How do you emulate that Brian Kilrea philosophy of on and off the ice?
Yeah, I heard a lot of Brian Kilrea stories in my time at UNB, because we had several players that we recruited to UNB that had the good fortune of playing for Brian Kilrea, and I've read his book. I've lots of coaches that know him, coached against him, and certainly you said it. He's a legend, and I think it's humbling when you get that opportunity, and he created a standard for coaching in the CHL and longevity. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to keep the longevity part at this stage of my career, but I think it's all about having standards and top-notch coaches like Brian Kilrea that the trophy's named after, and then the many coaches that have won this award. I think there's an obligation that there's a standard all these coaches have set as far as a coach, that type of thing. So it's humbling, but in the other way, it's very, very exciting as well.
How much are you interested in? Well, certainly coached at two different levels now, but even exploring further on later in your career, maybe different levels of coaching?
I got the opportunity, and I had a great career in Western Canada. I truly loved it. The opportunity to come to UNB, I said the first day at the press conference, this is my NHL.
Yes.
And I was fortunate to have a press conference in Moncton, and I just felt like I was in the NHL in Moncton. Like you walk in the building every day, the Avenir Center, it's like the NHL. You go into our video room, into our dressing room, you practice there. The staff that we had, they always say in the NHL, you just have to do your job, and that's what I felt. I had such a great staff. I just had to do my part of the job, and they did a significant part. So I got to hand them. Let's say it's a Staff of the Year award, but it's just been every day I walk in and be the coach of the Moncton Wildcats, I feel like I'm in the NHL.
Carney, you touched on that earlier, but just going back to Taylor, just how special truly was that for you and your family to work together?
Yeah, I don't know if you talked to me 14 months ago, wouldn't be in my wildest dreams. And just the way it worked out when I, had the initial conversations with Mr. Irving, and I tried. You tried to build the environment as your best, and you want to have your people in the environment. And I was so, as I said, so fortunate to get great people, some that were already there and some that we brought in. But when I talked to him, I said, listen, we're going to have to find a GM. And he said, well, I may be interested. And I was okay. And I was going to Finland for the under-18s, and I set up I phoned Mr. Irving before I left, and I said, we have a candidate as a general manager. And he asked, well, who's that? And I said, well, he'll give you a call. And they hit it off. He's been, a really terrific mentor for Taylor as well. The knowledge he's had, not only in the hockey world, but in the business world. But I think, Taylor's experience as a player and, a CHL player for 5 years, pro player, and then I think the experience that he got as an NHL player agent was invaluable. Just the connections he has, especially now with with the new NCAA rule and stuff, where he's had a lot of those contacts as an NHL player agent. And he does a terrific job of collaboration, partnerships. Certainly with our team, his opening press conference was fluently bilingual, and I'm going, wow. I've been 24 years or 25 years in New Brunswick, and had I known I was going to live in New Brunswick for 25 years, I may have studied French, and because there's such passion for the French people in our province. But I think he's been amazing, and the acquisitions throughout the year. His first speech to our team at the beginning of the year, he said we have to be the tightest team. From his experiences, national championships at UNB, tight teams win, and we really spent a lot of time, growing our culture and growing the family. We talked about FOE, family over everything, and he'd done an amazing job of that for us.
Coach, what's it like to teach and coach a player like Caleb did in Stanway?
Yeah, I'm going to say special. Yeah, I was fortunate. I didn't know at the time, but I had a chance at the under-18 to get a chance to coach them, and it's a small segment, the under-18, and it's highly intense. You got to teach fast, and there's big games, and he did very well in the exhibition. That's all he was planned to play, and then unfortunately Roger McQueen got hurt, and Caleb had the opportunity to play a big role with our team. So I didn't know I was going to be his full-time coach in Moncton at that time, but it was really special. We had a lot of special guys on that team. He was one of them, and this year, just as I've said many times, he changes our team every day he walks in. He's got a tremendous personality. He's got a great passion for life and for hockey, and he's got a great passion for getting better each day. And it's hard to believe sometimes he's only 17 years old for his performance on the ice, but also his maturation off the ice. And I think it was well evident at the Combine and the multiple interviews that he had there.